this stream again. Let's get started. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday, talking about what's going on in the markets and taking a look at the Bitcoin price as well. We currently have Bitcoin in a massive head and shoulders pattern, and it does have a price target down at $24,500. So we will be discussing that in today's stream. We'll be taking a look at some levels of support and resistance, seeing if we are going to actually hit that lower level, and we'll take a look at the Fear and Greed Index as well. But first of all, we have a huge amount of cryptocurrency news to go through, and we also need to take a look at the price of Bitcoin. So let's take a look at that. Bitcoin is currently sat at $26,870, down just below 1% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum is down around 0.6% as well to $1,807. So that's what we're looking at this morning. It could be better. We are starting to see these gradual moves to the downside. This is what we saw last week as well. Just overall, every day between 0.5 and 1%, seeing that move to the downside. So we will be taking a look at that, taking a look at the price of Bitcoin and seeing what's in store for the next couple of weeks. But first, we have a huge amount of cryptocurrency news to discuss, and it's pretty interesting stuff today, I have to say. But before we get into today's news, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We are currently also streaming on to Binance Live, so let me know how the connection is in today's stream, because I know this has tripped up the stream a couple of times. We started today's live over on Binance, and then I realised I hadn't pressed play on YouTube, so we had to restart the whole thing, but we should be in action now. So let me know in the chat what you think of Bitcoin for the rest of the week and this weekend. Let me know what you think. We will be analysing the price of Bitcoin at the end of today's stream. But first of all, let's go on to some cryptocurrency news. Now, we are going to start today's stream with a massive debate. So let's get on to this one. We are going to be discussing, is cryptocurrency trading gambling? Now, this is a topic that I have had with many different people, because I tell people I'm in cryptocurrency full-time, and they basically say that I'm a full-time gambler. And I understand why people have this assumption, but they don't say stock traders are gamblers, do they? I don't believe that trading is gambling. I believe that every single time I make a trade, I am trading on probabilities. If I place a long position, that's because I have analysed the charts and I've decided there's a high probability that the price is going to move to the upside. Now, obviously, that's not certain, but I like to put things into probabilities and I like to make things work in my favour. It's not all just 100% risk. Now, I know that people can gamble with probabilities as well. However, I think there's a massive difference, because with cryptocurrencies, excluding things like meme coins, most of the altcoins have an underlying value as well. They are companies that have an actual utility and use in the real world. And that is what some people miss with cryptocurrencies. Many different altcoins have a real advantage that could be taken into different industries and used for good. But people just seem to miss that out and not understand it and just believe that trading cryptocurrencies is gambling. Now, we need to discuss whether cryptocurrency trading should be regulated as gambling, because this is the topic in the news today. As I've just said, my stance is that trading cryptocurrencies is not gambling. They are companies that have use cases and that we trade with probabilities. However, MPs are saying that we should treat investing as gambling. Now, they're saying that treating the cryptocurrency sector as, let's get this right, I think this is in the article from The Guardian, there's a halo effect, they've said in this article somewhere. This is the sentence here. The Treasury Committee said treating cryptocurrency trading or investing like a financial service and regulating it via the FCA risked creating a halo effect that could lead consumers to believe the industry was safer than it is, or that they were protected from final losses when they are not. So we need to discuss that. The first thing to note in this article and surrounding this news is that they are specifically discussing investing and trading cryptocurrencies. They're not discussing the entire industry. They're just talking about the investment of cryptocurrencies. Now, there's a huge amount of debate around how we can regulate cryptocurrencies in the correct way, and they are discussing regulating the trading of cryptocurrencies like gambling. Now, my question is, in that scenario, if we are classing cryptocurrency trading as gambling, surely we should be having it tax-free. You can't then tax our profits. If it's gambling, it's gambling. And you don't tax gambling profits in the UK, so you can't tax cryptocurrency trading profits in the UK if you're going to regulate them both the same. That's my first point. My second point is, this is specifically looking at trading. This isn't looking at the whole sector. There is a massive debate to be had here because the cryptocurrency industry as a whole isn't similar to gambling. It's similar to the traditional stock market. So if we take a look at this article, we can see here that the value could change drastically and consumers risk losing their entire investment. We know that. They point out the risks. The traditional media point out the risks of cryptocurrencies all the time. But we can see here the risks posed by crypto were typical of those that exist in traditional financial services and its financial services regulation, rather than gambling regulation that has the track record in mitigating them. And this is from a Treasury official that has spoke to the BBC News. And this is actually really, really true. Problems that we see within the cryptocurrency industry can be said to be similar to the traditional financial services. So that is something that is completely different, and this is why it's important to notice that we're talking about the specific action of trading cryptocurrencies in this scenario and not the entire industry. But my immediate question is, what happens with taxes? If you don't tax gamblers, you can't tax cryptocurrency traders if you're putting them all under the same roof. Now, there has been a debate here over on the crypto saving expert team about this morning, because it's very interesting news and definitely something we need to take a big think about. And this is something that I think will be a debate for years and years to come. And there are some debates about this. It could be said that it's a good thing because we can now have clarity around regulation. If they say we're going to classify it as gambling, we all know where we stand with that. We all know how it's going to work until they bring out more frameworks that suit the new industry. Because the problem we've seen over and over again is that cryptocurrency is a new industry, and the regulators are trying to put old pieces of framework on the cryptocurrency industry to help us understand it, but it just doesn't fit this new model. It doesn't work. The industry is new. It needs completely new regulation to be built for it. So if they say that crypto trading is gambling, then the benefit is we all know where we stand with that. We know how that works. But there are some issues, because if it's classed as gambling, then it's not a financial instrument, which undermines it as an asset class. That's an argument that someone in the crypto saving expert chat has made this morning, and that is very, very true. The people that want it to be classified as gambling are saying it has this halo effect, but us cryptocurrency investors don't want to undermine this asset. It's a big asset, and the technology can be used to change many different industries and push them forwards leaps and bounds. So we don't want to undermine that. We want to show how important this is. And by saying it's gambling, just when I've had debates about gambling before, when people think that I'm a full-time gambler, it really annoys me because they don't understand the importance of cryptocurrencies. So by the UK government saying, look, that's gambling as well, all these people are going to think they're right, and they're just never going to look at cryptocurrencies. So that is the debate to be had there. I mean, we can argue this debate for hours. It's a very interesting topic to have been brought up this morning, and definitely something I imagine we will be reporting on again in the future. I think this will be a good one to discuss with that Martini guy, so maybe we can get him on the channel one day next week and discuss this a little bit further. If you do want to hear that, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We do have a whole lot more news to discuss today, so we do need to move on to the next article, but I'm sure we'll be back on this topic sometime soon, and I'm going to write that down. I'm going to get TMG on the channel to discuss that a little bit further, because I think that's an interesting debate to be had. Let's move on to the next article and see what else is going on in the world of crypto. Another interesting article here. So Jump Trading has been exposed for netting $1 billion through secret deals with Tether. So Jump currently faces a class action lawsuit for receiving discounted Luna to prop up the price of UST. Now, Jump Trading is a market making firm. So it's similar to Jane Street, if you've heard of that. Market makers buy and sell assets with very small changes between the price. They may buy Bitcoin at $20,100 and sell it at $20,110. Make that small $10 profit. If they do that over and over and over again, they can make pretty substantial profits, and they also provide liquidity for the markets. Now, the news that we heard about this week is that Jump Crypto and Jump Crypto and Jane Street have both said that they are moving out of the US because of the SEC making it incredibly difficult for regulation. They're not completely moving out of the US, but they're just taking a little bit of a step away. They're moving down the scale of their market making for cryptocurrencies. And that has, we predict, caused a little bit of a drop in the price of Bitcoin and other assets as well. And now we are hearing that Jump Trading has been exposed for netting $1 billion through secret deals with Terra. So let's take a look at this. So they've been propping up the price of UST. UST, I'm sure we all know by now, is the algorithmic stablecoin that depegged in May 2022 and caused a horrific year for the cryptocurrency. May 2021, in fact, it was. Jesus, that time has gone so fast. Let's take a look at this article anyway. The SEC confirmed the involvement of the Chicago-based trading company in a recent filing as part of its lawsuits against Do Kwon and Terraform Labs, and the court's filing revealed that Do Kwon allegedly entered a secret deal with Jump to prop up the price of UST in May 2021 when the algorithmic stablecoin depegged from $1. So the Jump was offered the option of buying Luna at prices of 30 cents, 40 cents, and 50 cents over the counter of 3 years in exchange for propping up UST's price. According to the SEC, the trading firm realized roughly $1 billion from the deal as the Luna price skyrocketed later in 2021 and early 2022. So except for the investors of Terraform Labs, the details of the deal remain secret at the request of Jump Trading, the SEC said. But before SEC's revelation, the pseudonymous Terra researcher Fatman hinted at Jump's bailout of UST in the month that the token crashed. So he's tweeted, Stablecoin, Do Kwon, I know about the bailout from Jump in May 21. I know exactly how much you owe them every month in Luna. Hint, how many zeros in a million. I know exactly what you did to manipulate retail into losing billions of UST, but especially Luna. So the lawyers representing Kwon did not deny the SEC's claim that Terraform contracted the US trading firm to prop up the price of UST. That is a huge important piece to note there. And they said the actions of the firm, now known as Jump, represented only 6% of the total transactions that helped to restore the algorithmic stablecoin in its dollar peg. So this is massive news here coming in this morning. We all know that the repercussions of UST are still affecting the market. We are still seeing stablecoins have this sort of ceiling on them that they've not been able to break through since UST caused the entire market to collapse. So we will be keeping an eye on this and seeing how this unravels. We are still waiting to see the repercussions for Do Kwon. He has been definitely a malicious actor in the space, created a huge name for himself. We do need to see how this plays out. It's a very interesting topic. But let's move on to the next one here and see what else is going on in the world of crypto. So Amazon is going to incorporate AI for online shoppers. So Amazon is set to be the latest company to embrace AI by creating a shopping assistant. According to the report by Bloomberg, Amazon is advertising job listings for engineers to build an AI bot. And since the inception of OpenAI's ChatGPT, the AI frenzy has spread like wildfire through the technology industry. And companies such as Microsoft, Google, Snapchat, and Meta have all begun dabbling in AI bots designed to assist users with fast responses to any form of question. Now that Snapchat one is a bit bizarre. I've been taking a look at that one. They've created it represents a friend on Snapchat, the social media application. So you can just speak to it about your life, about day-to-day things, as you would a friend. It's like a friend that's always there. It's very bizarre. Let's take a look at this article though. AI has quickly become the hottest topic in technology, with the ability for a program bot to answer complex questions within seconds. And this displaces the requirement for users to perform a Google search or complete tasks by asking an AI bot for answers, or for the majority of the work to be written by AI. Now, I know a lot of people are very fearful of what can come from AI. AI could take over a huge amount of jobs within the next couple of years. It really can be used for some good. I mean, I was very opposed to the idea. I did not like the sound of AI at all. It can do things incredibly quickly. I have said on this channel before, I have a maths degree, and I spent months and months on my dissertation, and I based it around creating pieces of code essentially. And I asked ChatGPT to write my dissertation, and it did it in like a second after I spent months and months creating this complex task. So it's just proven that it can disrupt many different things. And that raises the question of what's going to happen in education as well. Coursework might be completely wiped out. It might have to all be exam based, because we just know that AI can complete complex tasks really, really quickly, and students are even going to take advantage of that. Now, so this was where I was coming against AI. I wasn't really convinced that it was going to be for some good. I think it's going to make a lot of people lose their jobs, but it can be very beneficial as well. I started to take it under my wing and use it as my little personal assistant throughout the working day, and the amount of work I can get through now has increased massively as well. So it has been very beneficial actually. But let's take a look at this article here anyway and see how Amazon are taking advantage of this technology. And I think sometimes if we don't take advantage of this technology, we can just fall behind. If we can use it to advance ourselves, why not? We can see here, cryptocurrency companies have also adopted AI for users, with Cryptday.com unveiling its user companion bot Amy, and Binance are now introducing Sensei. So they're both using them so that they can answer complex cryptocurrency questions from its users without having a huge group of people on the other end of the phone trying to answer all of these questions all at once. So we can see here how Amazon is taking on AI. So it could swiftly help users find a specific item they're struggling to locate on its online shopping platform, or simply utilize the bot instead of looking for things themselves. So the job listing states candidates must have 7+ years of experience working with engineering teams, in addition to many other factors, but the role has base pay of $119,000 up to $230,000 per year, and depends on numerous factors such as skills and experience. So let's take a look at what the job description states here. We are working on a new AI-first initiative to re-architect and reinvent the way we do search through the use of extremely large-scale, next-generation deep learning techniques. And the description also outlined that machine learning will be used to create the AI assistant. So it's very interesting here how all of these companies are taking advantage of this technology. And it's something that I, as I said, was against, but now I think we do need to take advantage of it and see what it can do. It can help us in many different ways. And maybe it will put some people out of their jobs, but it could create a huge amount of new jobs as well. I was reading this in the paper yesterday. It may change the way that we all work, but there may still be jobs out there. It may just be new jobs coming to life. So it's not just that it will take over jobs and that will be the end of that. There will be many more jobs coming off the back of this as well, I believe now. So let's take a look at the next article and see what else is going on in the world of crypto. Before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We have a few more articles to discuss today, and then we'll be taking a look at the price of Bitcoin, analysing that massive head and shoulders pattern, which is taking a look like we could go down to the $24,500. And we'll be seeing if we have any levels of support before that could help us hold strong. We obviously are currently on Wednesday, so we've got a few more days until the CME gap opens, but we take a look at the CME chart as well and see what's going on over there. Let's take a look at the news first though. We have Gary Gensler states crypto regulations already exist. The SEC chairman has stated in an interview that crypto rules already exist. We've seen Coinbase request for crypto regulation on the 15th of May. We had the Financial Markets Conference live streamed on YouTube, where Gary responded to their request, saying that the rules have already been published. So Gensler went on to state, to make it quite direct, this is a field that has been operating largely non-compliant. Our agency has put out rules about what it means to be an exchange, what it means to be a broker-dealer, what it means to be an advisor, custody assets, and how to register security offerings. Those rules are in existence, and there's nothing about a new technology that makes it non-consistent with the public policies that Congress has laid out. So the SEC says maybe to crypto. So he's saying we need to classify everything in this essentially as a security and regulate it as a security. Now, the issues that we see within cryptocurrency is that the design to determine whether an asset is a commodity or a security was made in the 1940s. I say this all the time, and it's just unclear. You can be very biased when you're looking at these guidelines to determine what an asset is, specifically when it comes to cryptocurrency. We can't put this old framework from the 1940s on the cryptocurrency industry. We need this new regulation built specifically for cryptocurrency. And this is what Coinbase is requesting. This is what we want. The cryptocurrency industry, some people may be against regulation, but regulation for the industry is actually a good thing in my opinion. As long as we can work together, we want the regulators to work with the cryptocurrency industry so we can build this new framework. We don't want the regulators to just say, no, we've done it, leave us alone, comply, follow these rules that we've set out in the 1940s, or get out of the country. That just means that the US are going to fall behind on this industry, and that's the last thing they want. They're working against themselves. Let's take a look at this though. The SEC says maybe to crypto, they may continue to work. They may start to regulate cryptocurrencies a little bit better, but it's going to take years. I mean, we already know that, but we just want to make some steps forwards. We want, as a cryptocurrency industry and the people within it, we want to help the regulators create some framework that will help the cryptocurrency industry continue to grow in a regulated manner. And this means that the US can benefit from it. It means other jurisdictions can benefit from it, because it's likely that they will follow the same regulation. One country will make regulations and then some others will pinch some of it and change it slightly, but overall, if we can regulate this industry in the correct way that allows it to continue to grow, the countries can benefit from it massively. We don't want to see these massive companies like Coinbase, Binance moving out of jurisdictions because the regulations just aren't fair. Those countries are the ones that are going to fall behind. So that is what we are seeing here in the news today. The US are still saying that they have the same stance on cryptocurrency regulation, essentially, and we need to continue to try and help move this forward. Yorkshire Pork said, it makes me laugh how the UK government has no issues with somebody losing thousands gambling, but won't let people trade derivatives. Yes, that is also an issue. If you are saying that relates back to this point here though, around the UK regulation and then wanting to regulate cryptocurrency trading as gambling. First of all, if you don't regulate gambling, you can't regulate profits from trading if you're going to regulate it as the same thing. Second of all, if you can gamble like that, should you be able to trade derivatives as well? I mean, we all take on our own risks. It's not for you to decide for us. And that is a debate that we have. I completely agree with you there, Yorkshire Pork. Let's take a look at the next article here, though, and see what else is going on in the world of crypto. We have a few more articles to go here. Who likes meme coins? Let me know in the chat if you're a meme coin fan. This is an interesting one here. So this guy made $2.2 million from Pepe, and they've reinvested $2.1 million in the dip into Pepe again. Now, making $2.2 million from Pepe is absolutely incredible. Let's take a look at how much he made this. So he made a 48x on his investment by getting into Pepe early. So he bought $1.33 trillion of the meme coin, and it's recently pulled back to 65% from its all-time high. So taking a look at this, he put 26 Ethereum into this to start with. So it was worth $48,000. Definitely a wealthy man. They then sold their PP holdings for 1.245 Ethereum at 0.00009985 per Pepe, which made it $2.1 million in profit. So what we've seen here is he has made a massive amount of profits here, rode it all the way up to the top, like a huge amount, and then taken huge amounts of profits. The price has moved back down again, and he's decided to take the same risk again. Now that is something I would choose not to do. Pepe is a meme coin. It has no real world utility. It has no underlying value as such. He's invested. He's made this massive amount of profit. I would just get out of it. He's chosen to keep just $100,000 out of this and decided to reinvest $2.1 million back into the meme coin. So this is what is happening with the meme coin right now. It has seen a move to the downside. We can see here that we are looking at the chart of Doge here. So it had a huge move to the upside, and it did rebound pretty significantly. So it is true that meme coins like Pepe can make this huge move to the downside, see a little bit of a fall, and then continue back up to the upside again. So it is possible that this will happen for Pepe, but right now with $2.1 million worth of profit, do you not want to diversify a bit? I mean, maybe they are already diversified. Maybe they already hold millions in Bitcoin, and Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies as well. But it just seems like a huge amount of money to put into a meme coin. And never say never, it could continue to perform very well. I would just say the risk-reward ratio for this at this point in time, for this amount of money, is insane. But let's take a look at the next article here anyway and see what else is going on. So Justin Sun announced Huobi will recover fraudulent HT and destroy them. So he's declared that illegitimately sold Huobi tokens will be recovered by the Huobi exchange and destroyed. So If you are on the Tron network and you are interested about that, make sure to go to the Cryptday Saving Expert news website here at cryptodsavingexpert.com. If you press that news tab there at the top, you get all the latest news in cryptocurrencies and you can learn about this. And now we can see here that Tron, Justin's son, is rarely far away from the headlines in some form. And on the 16th of May, he's tweeted his younger brother, Lee Lin's younger brother, has reportedly acquired a large amount of zero-cost HT through abnormal means. He said he sold it on the Huobi platform many times in history and has withdrawn huge amounts of cash. So as the founder of the Huobi exchange, which Justin's son is involved with, Sun announced the founder's brother had taken advantage of their position to profit illicitly. And Sun also stated, in order to protect people's interests, the Huobi Global Advisory Committee and the HT DAO community decided to recover and destroy the HT obtained by him at zero cost. And the HT destruction will be announced in the HT community. Such behaviour will not be condoned. So they're looking at burning those tokens as well. So let's take a look at the next article here. We have Araudine. I don't know how to pronounce that company's name, raises $81 million in a Series A funding round. So this is a Web3 infrastructure solution, and they have raised $81 million. We are seeing huge valuations in the cryptocurrency industry at the moment, and I believe this is because we've seen this huge move to the downside. We've now seen that nice move to the upside once again. We've seen that bounce. We've all got a little bit of a taste of what the bull market's like again. In December, November, everyone was so miserable within cryptocurrency, but now we've had these 4 months of a nice upwards movement. Everyone's remembered how nice it is to be in cryptocurrency during the bull market. And all these companies are getting mad valuations because people are seeing the potential that the cryptocurrency industry has once again. And people are looking up at that next bull market, and it doesn't seem that far away anymore. In December, it felt like we were going on this long slog and we were just going to go down and down and down. But people have realized that we're not that far away from the bull market, and they want to get involved and get exposure to the cryptocurrency industry. Let's take a look at the next article here. We have the EU finance ministers approve comprehensive MiCA crypto regulations. So the council also approved amendments to several changes and directives related to the markets in crypto assets regulation. The Economic Financial Affairs Council of the European Union, which comprises the finance ministers of all 27 member states, have approved the long-awaited MiCA crypto regulations after a unanimous vote on the 16th of May. The latest development follows approval by the European Parliament last month. So this is a set of regulations for digital assets that include both cryptocurrencies and stablecoins and aim to provide legal clarity, which is what we all want, big cheers here in crypto, regarding cryptocurrencies and regulate the stablecoin market in Europe, which also contains anti-money laundering policies for crypto and was introduced by the European Commission in September 2020, has been ongoing for 2 years. Now, obviously, we are getting clarity around regulation in the EU, but is this the regulation that we need and what we want, and will it stifle growth? This is what we need to take a look at. So MiCA is a comprehensive set of regulations for digital assets that include both cryptocurrencies and stablecoins. MiCA could finally become a law this summer. So with today's nod from finance ministers, the regulation is on track to become law this summer when it will be entered into the EU's official journal. And there will be an implementation period giving regulators and companies time to catch up with the new rules before they come into force. Specific rules regarding stablecoins will be implemented in a year, but others will not be enforced for 18 months. So in addition to MiCA, regulation on information accompanying transfers of funds and certain crypto transactions was also approved, and this shows that the EU is taking a proactive approach to regulating the crypto industry, a topic of concern for many governments worldwide. So the ECOFIN has reached agreement on tax regulations. An agreement was also reached by the Council concerning different tax regulations. So as a part of this, local tax authorities must exchange information with one another to ensure cross-border compliance. So we are seeing big moves here. Let's take a look at the next article here. Before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We are currently on 14 likes for today's stream. We have done better than that before. Let's try and get to 20 before we close off today's stream. We also have 3,021 subscribers out here on the channel. Let's try and get to 5,000 by the end of June. But halfway through the year, if we get to 5,000, that'll be very, very impressive. Let's take a look at the next article here. We have bad actors, bad management caused Blockfight's failure. Now, Blockfight is a company that filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, as many did in 2021, following the collapse of UST. And we are seeing here that they are saying it's down to bad management. So if you are interested in Blockfight and how that all works, please don't forget to go to cryptosavingexpert.com and take a look at that article. But let's move on to the next one here, because I know a lot of us are itching to get onto the Bitcoin news. We can see here Ledger is under fire amid controversial seed recovery update. We did touch on this in yesterday's stream. Cryptocurrency hardware wallet provider Ledger are looking to create an upgrade which costs $9.99 a month to store your recovery phrase online and attach it to your personal ID. Now, personally, as a personal opinion, I use a Ledger to store my recovery phrase offline. That's the whole point of it. I want to store my recovery phrase somewhere safe. I want to use a hardware wallet. I don't want my recovery phrase to be stored on that. I want it to be stored somewhere offline, away where no one can access it. By storing that online, we are creating that extra risk. We are creating that new possibility of it getting hacked. And if somebody has access to your recovery phrase, they have access to your tokens. So this has caused a huge amount of backlash from the cryptocurrency industry. I still can't believe they decided to try and implement this. So they are trying to require users to provide government-issued identity cards with which they can restore their seed phrase when lost or forgotten. So that is that is just a very shocking piece of news here. We are putting out an article today at Crypto Saving Expert where we discuss alternatives to Ledger. We rank them all. We discuss the best ones. So if you are a Ledger user and you're thinking this is not something I want to be involved in anymore, make sure to stay tuned on Crypto Saving Expert today on the website. We will be publishing a news article. It will be in the news section where you can learn about other hardware wallets that may be able to keep your cryptocurrency recovery phrase offline, since that is why we all buy them in the first place. Let's take a look at the next one and see what else is going on here. Ethereum risks losing $1,800 despite staked Ethereum hitting an all-time high of 21.8 million. So Ethereum's $1,800 support is looking weaker by the day. Now, if we take a look at this, we're still holding strong after that article was written it was published 17 minutes ago. So we were right on the ball here. We can see here that Ethereum's $1,800 support dollar is looking weaker by the day, with a drop to 1,740 or lower looking likely in the following days, according to our writer and analyst John. So let's take a look at this. We can see here that the price of Ethereum is currently testing some levels of simple moving averages here. Which one is the yellow one? Do we have it written in here? Let's take a look at this. The number 2 digital asset is again trading at the crucial $1,800 level support. Ethereum is yet to recover fully from last week's mass selling event caused by the false alert that the US government had moved some of its Bitcoin for a potential sale. So let's talk about that quickly. The US government hold a huge amount of Bitcoin. They have said they're going to sell it in 4 tranches. Every single time we see a huge transaction on the Bitcoin network, a lot of fear enters the industry. Many people believe that we are going to see the US government dump their Bitcoin, and that fear causes the price of Bitcoin to dump, even though it was a false alarm and it wasn't actually the US government selling their Bitcoin. I would also like to point out that the US government also sold their Bitcoin on the 14th of March, and when they did so, we still had a green day. The sell from the US government was completely absorbed by the market. So this irrational fear is causing big sell-offs to the price of Bitcoin, bigger than the actual event, because the event didn't actually take place. It's a false alarm, and it's not the first one we've had. But it did cause a crash in the market, and because of that, we did see a move to the downside. But we are now looking at the price of Ethereum, and it's holding its 50-week SMA, which is this red line here, pretty nicely. But we need to keep an eye on this to see what else can happen. But we do know that the staked Ethereum has reached an all-time high here as well. So more people are staking Ethereum than ever before. But let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin now. Let's get on to some good old Bitcoin analysis. I know that's what we're all here for. Let's see what's going on with the price of Bitcoin. Again, I would like to point out, I've not moved these lines on this price chart literally for months. We have had these charts, like if you go back to previous streams on this channel, about 4 weeks, you will see these exact same lines. They have not been changed. I saved this chart and I just reload it every day. The price of Bitcoin seems to respect them pretty nicely. So we can see here that we have been using this level here as a level of, we've been looking at this zone, the $26,900 to $26,600 level, as a level of support for a while now, because we used it as a support down here. We actually initially used it as a resistance once back here as well. We used it as a support then again, and we have now been trading within it, deciding if we're going to use it as the support once again. I hope we do. I do want to see supports at these points. We do definitely have a level of resistance at $27,700, but if we zoom out a bit to the daily chart, this is the chart that we're all a bit fearful of right now. We do have a head and shoulders pattern forming on the daily chart here. Well, it's being formed. We've now seen what could be said as a confirmation bounce. We've broken through that level of support, used it as a level of resistance, and we are now back on the downtrend. So if we take a look at this, we've taken the distance between the neckline and the top of the head, and if we put that to the point of breakout, it's showing that we could have a price target down at $24,500. Now, we do definitely have some levels of previous resistance at that $25,200 level and the $23,900 level. So I'm keeping an eye on those and hoping some of those hold. Also looking at keeping an eye on that smaller time frame at the 4-hour chart to see if these levels hold as well. But we do have the possibility of moving down to that lower level. So we do need to be aware of that and just be incredibly careful. With our trades, as always, don't use a huge amount of leverage, just be careful. But that is all really we have for that. Let's take a look at the Ethereum Green Index. It's smack bang in the middle at 50, so we're not seeing too much movement there. We just need to keep an eye on that. But that is really all we have for today's stream. So thank you very much for tuning in with us. As always, I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for everybody who has contributed in today's chat, and we will be back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. BST time, talking about the latest cryptocurrency news, taking a look at the market and seeing what's going on with the price of Bitcoin. That is all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all back here tomorrow. Goodbye. See you all then.